Hi, this is Rich. Welcome to my blog, and welcome to Agvila's blog. And I think we're both going to upload this on our channels. But we were just doing some entity work today, and got some great wins. I was guiding Agvila, and she was the one looking for the entity stuff. And uh, we came through it, and it was like, wow, more good stuff every day. It's helping. Uh, so, how'd it go for you today so far?
I liked it. I mean, like today was a big win and a breakthrough for me because let's say last 3 days. Today's the third one, so like there's 3 days. It's as if we did so much work that they started targeting me. Like I'm doing too much damage every day on a massive scale, and they really don't like that. So what's best way to stop me if not to make me tired as can be? And like for these like three last days, I like literally I would get like lots of rest. I sleep enough. I eat well. Like I have everything said that would work, but I'm still feeling tired as can be. I'm not inspired. I'm not motivated. Like I do a lot of work on different things. Like I just like spend hours and hours and hours, but still like I cannot produce a video or make great content or different things. And that was like I was like it was getting down to me. Like damn it, like I have the audience is growing and I just want to give more to people, and it's like I can't get there. So today we addressed like not feeling it, not being in the mood, and Rich told me to look around the entities in my space, and I look around inside my body, and I find so much stuff like this is really amazing, like all these things I'm finding out, and like basically, Rich and I, throughout the videos that we've been making recently, we talked about how we consume certain foods, like the meat and eggs and milk and different things. They have entities inside us. Like animals don't feel it, but whatever we consume from them will basically have entities, and we get it inside our bodies. And so later on, those entities, even though they're not working on animals, but it's basically only for us to consume it and get inside ourselves. And so those entities turn into their things and basically their channels. So whenever the higher ups or their AI tells us and gives them a command, they start working. And what they started doing recently on me is like turning it off, like making me sleepy and tired, not inspired, not motivated, basically to keep me from doing this sort of work, making videos and getting my information out, different sort of things. And amazing thing about that was that when I noticed the entities are actually like consuming my thoughts, my ideas, my inspiration, like literally they're eating it, they're consuming, they're devouring. Like damn, it's a big thing, and like I just don't know how to go about it. But basically, whenever you feel inspired, motivated, like all these things I was feeling every single day, because like this is whatever I'm doing with my life is working, it's working, and all these entities, like basically they just like turned on the AI, and all these entities started working on myself and consuming it. So all the inspiration, all the motivation, excitement, and energy is basically consumed, which gets me like in that sedative or what was the word?
Sedated?
Sedated, yeah, sedated place where I'm like literally sleepy, snoozy, tired, lazy, or whatever. Even though I produce and do a lot of things, I still cannot do as much as I want, and so they keep me in that level where they can like do a lot of stuff out there without me being out there fighting the bigger war. So it's a
Mhm.
big thing, and I think like this sort of thing works for everyone. Like the whole humanity, like they get us into like addicted to different things, and we're all into that city, a place where we're just like lazy, we're watching movies, we're playing video games, we're not doing anything that's really important, so we're just like we're chilling, we're relaxed, we're like feeling good, but that's where they get us. So
Yeah,
it's a big thing. Like I mean, like I have a whole lot more to tell, but like I feel like you need to talk as well.
yeah, yeah. The whole subject of entities is vast, and there's different levels of it, and it takes a lot to understand it and wrap your head around it. And there's different levels of work, and Agvila happens to be very advanced and experienced with this. She's been seeing entities since she was a little girl, uh, and her visuals are extremely vivid. So when I do this work with her, she can see a lot. When you think about smart dust and nanoparticles and it being programmed to affect how we act, it's on that level of that's a lot of nanoparticles. That's a lot of programming, and a lot of thought and technology has gone into chemtrailing and controlling humanity in different ways. So this is kind of like that, but on yet another level. The programming is sentient bits of consciousness, or what might have been a being at one time, fractured, splintered little bits of beingness, thought forms. Like people can create a thought form thing and send it off to attack another person. It's like black magic stuff and voodoo sort of things. So this whole entity phenomena comes in all kinds of levels and stages. And Agvila stuff is on the very high side of this. And she has the visual stuff. She's visual. Me, I'm not very visual, and you don't need to be, but you do need to be at a level of consciousness where one, you know, or you intuitively feel that there's entities messing with your thoughts and your feelings and your actions, and even maybe your physical body. So when those people that are ready for entity work, you know, you jump in and you start learning everything you can about it, how to communicate to the entities, what causes them to be with you, connect with you. Did you attract them? Did you invite them in? Did you ask for help? And you didn't mean to be asking for help from negatives, but they will look for any opportunity to come into your space. And there's a hierarchy, there's levels of this stuff. There's the guardian angels, the demons, the archangels. It's just unbelievably fucking weird. Okay. And on the level of like germs and bacteria, and there's the positive bacteria and the negative bacteria, those things are alive. They're, conscious organisms. Within that, we as human beings can think positive thoughts and loving thoughts and visualize things, and our thought energy can affect our physical health. It can make us feel better, make us feel worse. So we can literally, in this way, you could say, program or enhance the quality of these microorganisms. And there's billions and billions of these. So to understand, to get an idea of what Agvila is looking at and talking about and dealing with, is you like kind of downsize the idea and just look within your own human body at how you are the big being, and you can tune into the billions. You can get billions of acidophilus in one little pill. They're alive. Okay. So the billions, and maybe you don't see it like the entities themselves, the microorganisms themselves, but you get a sense of it. And when we visualize or do our energy work, we increase our vibrations, and we eat foods that also on a vibrational level are enhancing the physical health of the body and the health of the microorganisms that are within our system. And it's called parasympathetic, sympathetic parasites kind of thing. They're on the skin. I mean, if you get fleas have fleas, and the fleas that have fleas, those fleas on the flea have microscopic bugs on them, and they either help or they hinder the survival of the organism. So this entire universe is created on this eating, one life form eating another or consuming another. And we can see it within our own biological life forms. But that's here, as above, so below, below, above, that sort of thing. So Agvila and I have been doing this research, and we're seeing it on the next level out, and how the advanced extraterrestrials in spacecraft are playing this on humanity at this level. And it's all about, for them, it's domination and control. Well, for one certain group of these entities on a very outer space, other planets, control and domination, invasion of spacecraft, armadas, Star Wars shit and Star Trek sort of things. This goes on in the real world, but it also goes on multidimensionally in the next universe out, because that's just the way things work. So when these entities affect us, it's like the extraterrestrials are using entity warfare on us because we have physical bodies. We have a physical body and we have an energy body around our physical body that is pretty much connected to the physical. And once we drop dead or leave these physical bodies, most of our entity stuff, maybe not all of it, but most of it you will leave behind, because they can't affect you the way they can't affect you when you're out of body or between lives like they can when you have a body. So this is warfare to control and dominate us as beings, powerful beings, awake and aware, or wanting to wake up and be aware. They start coming at us when they see us start waking up. And they use this advanced entity warfare technology on us. And our weakness is our physical bodies. When we get into our physical body, we become this. And the food we eat, we get addicted to the food, we get addicted to the activities, all kinds of things. And these are our weaknesses that the bad guys exploit through this entity technology of programming us to feel certain ways and do certain things. So it's really out there. This kind of video, and the things we're talking about isn't for everyone, but if you can sense entities or see them or hear them, and you feel like this kind of work you could benefit from, you could do it, then yeah, get a hold of us, contact us, go over to richwest.net, see what we've got over there, and you can get started with this sort of stuff. But I just want to let you know, this is what Ocvila is doing is even advanced for me. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck, really? And I was doing advanced stuff like 30 years ago. I mean, where I would deal with, a group of 1,000 entities, kind of bundled together as one issue in my space. This technology, there's thousands of people doing this. They do it in secret. Normal people, they don't hear about these technologies that Ocvila and I are using and developing and putting together and kind of making known. I think maybe it's not for everybody, and I'm a little, you think it's okay to like let it out there and let people know
Just let it out. Yeah. I mean, we don't need a special time or special people to have the awareness. Like, we're just gonna talk about it, and who's ever, like, we're talking about what we know and what we experience. So people just will, those who experienced it in the past, they will like get it, and for them it's gonna be okay. Even though it might be a bit too much, but like they need that information.
Yeah. And what? Well, just a quickie thing.
Yeah, sure.
What's amazing about it is how good you can feel after you're done. Every time we do entity work now, we are doing soul retrieval, aspects of self that may have left or got compartmentalized, and parts of you're not brave anymore. You're not honest as you were. You're not as open. You're not as talkative. Well, I don't think I'll say anything today about that. And or you're not assertive, or any of these positive, strong character traits can be susceptible to an attack. And you go, whoa, and it's done on purpose. So we either compartmentalize our some of our positive aspects, or they get stolen, kidnapped, abandoned, scared, and run away on their own. There's different ways you can see how you lost part of your soul, the soul aspect of self. And then we have ways now to go after them and locate them, talk to them, interact with them, see if they want to come back to you or not. But the effect of doing this kind of entity work, whether it's real or it's just imaginary bullshit, doesn't matter. Call it a placebo if you want. The result is what matters. When you do this, things get better. You feel stronger. more confident, more able, more aware, more conscious, and all this sort. This is what I've been noticing. How about you, Olga?
Yeah, I mean, like even the last session we did, for the last 3 days, I was feeling like this sort of tired, lazy, and inspired. Even though like I'm doing a lot and I'm working on different projects and like I get my wins, but I was like, where's that excitement about making videos? Like, cause I was like, I was afraid to make it and getting the information out, and like my last video was like a huge hit, and I'm like, I love it. And the last 3 days, I was like really like crashed. And so we did this session, and I like remove a lot of entities and get rid of it. And the last process, like the last few processes we're doing is like soul retrieval, and I'm getting my energy back that was consumed by those entities and thoughts and feelings and everything else. And I revoked some of the agreements. So like I imagine my energy coming back and my aspects. It's like huge, like huge beams of light of energy coming back, and like literally like it just fills me up. And we're done with this session, and I want to make a video. I'm excited, like I'm living, like hell yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
So it's a thing, and I'm just like all over the place. For these beings out there that are messing with humanity, like Archons, Demiurges, their huge and big thing is basically making sure that the humanity does not get out of body, making sure that they're all like seduced, that they're all sleeping, unaware, unconscious, so that the more they can get us into something unimportant and addicted to it, the better for them. Because we're going to be playing Earth game, we're addicted to Earth, we're addicted to competition and all the duality, right or wrong, guilty, bad, and all the stuff. And everyone's playing the small game, but the big game is out there for them, and they're winning. So like whenever they can keep us addicted and on earthly matters, like on all kinds of stuff, activities, what we consume, what we do, what we think, uh, that's their win. And so even if you get out of body, they don't like that, so they will have their own minions that will try to capture you, like freeze you or like abduct you and make sure that you can't get out. And like some people, like how can these beings freeze you? Like I've met a being and I could just change the pot and like free myself. But what kind of level are we talking about? Are we talking about like little astral levels where the entities are okay and like it's not a big deal? You've been in it will be your astral projection for 10 minutes and you've had a great experience, or are we talking about huge scale where the real game is going on? Like
yeah,
what kind of technologies have you encountered? Because like for me, I've seen tons where literally beings are being abducted, freeze, like they really like literally freeze the one that's gets out of body, and they're like literally abducting those explorers so that they would keep them trapped and have the earth all like literally sleeping and not doing anything. So it's a big thing.
yeah, yeah. Well, most of the out of body work that I've done when I go out of body, I don't normally deal with entity encounters and bad guys so much as exploring the multiverse and see what it's like.
Yeah.
Uh, and so I'll meet people. I've been on spacecraft. I was on a spacecraft one time, and it was being attacked. And I'm kind of like an observer, teleport in, and I'm just watching. And while I'm standing there, it's like, and everything goes like this, like I'm in a Star Trek movie or some damn thing. People are running around, battle stations and all that stuff. I'm like, whoa, serious. I wasn't afraid or anything. It was like an adventure for me because we're immortal
Yeah.
and I can teleport out real fast. But the people that live, they're the local inhabitants of that dimensional plane, that reality system. They have more at stake. And the game is serious. It's important, and it's warring. Control and domination once again. But there's that, and I've been to universities, and they're just humans. I normally meet human beings. I've been on a couple of spacecraft where they're the tall grays or tall pink and white and different things like that. But I talked to a couple of officers on a spacecraft one time, and they said, "Yeah, come here. I want to show you something." I'm floating up here like I'm just observing, and they look up at me, and I'm like, "Uh-oh, busted." I mean, They said, "Come here. I want to show you something." Mm-hmm. And I kind of float down, and they're standing there's a pedestal here, and it's a table computer, and it projects this hologram of our galaxy or our sector of the galaxy or something. And they see this right here, and he points to Earth, solar system, Earth place. And he says, that's contaminated and quarantined and nothing's getting out. And I go, out? I thought it was nothing's going to get in. Because, like, normally you think of it as if some town has some fucking disease, it's quarantined and you can't go in there.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking he was saying nothing goes in. And he said, but nothing's getting out. And it's just like, because, I have an earth human body and that's my local universe, Earth, physical Earth. I go, nothing's getting out. It's not, so not only is it a prison planet, bad guys, but it's the good guys are saying, yeah, not only that, the prisoners are fucking contaminated. It's got to be fixed and cleaned up before they're going to let anybody out. I'm going, well, that's fucked up, isn't it?
But it makes sense. It makes so much sense. Like if everyone's asleep and they're doing their own like little earthly things year after year, life after life, they're all like here not doing anything, not living. And how can they get out if they don't even know that it's possible?
Yeah. So I believe that a lot of people, a lot of beings, light beings and workers from other planes or other planets in the physical world, they go out of body and then they choose to reincarnate in the physical earth plane. There's those kind of beings and just beings from higher realms coming in to help the beings of planet Earth to wake up, understand the situation, and get clear of it some way or other. After their 80, 100 years of life in a physical body here. Because the dark side wants everybody reincarnating, or they want to capture us in the astral part of this whole earth trap. And they'll put us into the heaven worlds, religious constructs, which are religious astral planes, part of the prison. It's like out of the prison cell, out of the building, and now you're in the yard. You're out, you got some freedom. You can go play football or something out in the prison yard, but you still can't get out. Well, but you're having fun. So this is like the heaven worlds within the context of these religions on earth. Yeah. You think you're out in a heaven world and people are nice and all that stuff, but to really break free is to break free of that belief system as well. This, for me, I've experienced more freedom while out of body because of my belief systems. It's more enjoyable, and I'm getting more out of it in that context.
Same here. And another thing that was interesting to find out during the sessions is that they have like these AIs in the clouds that like are controlling the Earth like pretty on a really big scale. And these AIs, like, they can activate the entities inside our bodies. So basically, whenever you're doing something, like, we were doing, like, probably the second session where I'm, like, feeling like I'm going to be interrupted whenever I want to do something. And, like, you have this sort of feeling like you want to do something, and then you just, like, oh, I can't because, and you'll find a reason why. Or, you want to act something like, or go to a shop, and you're like, I don't want to meet someone I know. And guess who's there? So amazing thing about that I've learned today is that the AI will basically pick up on anything that comes like that's inside us and any thought or energy we have, and we're like, okay, this is our intention. So they pick that up really fast, and then they're gonna like pick a radius around you and be able to affect any human being that easily, because every one of us has entities. This is the hard truth. And they can trigger the entity and cause it to like mess with you. So basically, if I was, let's say, going down the street and picking one road to go, and I'm like, okay, today I'm going here, and I have like, okay, I don't want this to happen, and the AI picks up on my needs, my wants, my energy, my intentions. And around me, they pick the radius, whichever they want, because they can use the whole Earth. But basically, people around me, all of them will get some sort of intention, thought, or whatever, and they can use us as tools. And basically, you're driving a car, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, today I'm going there because I've never went there, and today's the day, and you pick up another road. Was that actually you thinking that up, or was it actually the entity like today we're gonna do this, and they trigger it, and you've listened to it, and like you think it's you, so you do that. So like they're able to mess with us in that way. And basically for us, we have an intention to do something. They use people around us to do the opposite of what we want, and so we get in that clash, and that's their way to generate the loop, because like they do whatever we don't want to happen, and that's their way of making us pissed off, disappointed, sad, or whatever, because things didn't happen that we expected, and that's it. So it's a pretty
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, as we wake up more and start doing more work in this area, we get more attention from them,
Yeah.
and they escalate their monitoring and interference, while at the same time we are escalating our awareness and understanding of what they're doing. So once you get on this path, it's kind of like, damn, but it's worth it. It's to be clear, it can be overwhelming sometimes, and like, oh, I go, whoa, 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 or I'll feel that wave of tired. You think it's like you must beat my diet or something, but it's not. It's not that.
Both.
This stuff, yeah, it's a little of both, but the diet because of these other things. But it you can snap. It will turn right off if you as you learn more about how it works, what they're doing, and how they're doing it. You do awaken more, and you do feel more alive and awake than ever before, until the next, and then I'll hit you again. You go, what the hell just happened? I've seen it happen. It happened yesterday a couple of times. Something pops right out of my mouth. I have an urge to say something as part of a conversation, but it's not going to help the other person, but it's going to make me feel better. I feel better if I'm able to say what I need to say, and I feel like, oh, I need to say this. You get all this urge and this little package of urge and you say that thing, and it might not make the other person feel good or feel better or anything like that. But you're in this place where it's not about them, it's about me. I'm important too. I need to share my thoughts and feelings. It's kind of like that. And it just pops out. And I actually saw it coming twice. But I didn't have the discipline or the will to suppress it, because it felt like me. I'd feel more alive, more right if I said it. And I said it, and then it caused I'm talking about like 3 different times it happened. It's 3 different responses. But I watched the response after I said it, and I go, yep. And it's causing a little bit of an emotional down trend in what was going on. And I go, I took the fucking bait. I felt the urge, whatever the fuck urge.
Yeah, because it feels exactly like us. Like these entities, they are inside us, and they can feel like they can match with our feelings, and then they can enhance it. So basically, whenever we feel something, they're gonna enhance it. And it's gonna be like, that's me. That's what I feel like. This is me. And we're so important all over the place, but it's actually them like triggering you. And whatever you have, like an urge, a want, a need, that's them messing with you like big time. You have the power, you have the control over that much, and then they enhance it. Then you lose the power, and that thing is all over the place. And now you're gonna go take the bait and go right after it.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's really important, because like we were having a session today, and I'm like thinking like, why am I tired and stuff, or lazy or something? And my lazy is like, I can do a lot of work, but my lazy is like not making a video every single day, not being inspired to do that sort of stuff. And I was like thinking about whenever you say I need this, I want this, like I want to be inspired, I need to be in the mood. This is an invitation for an entity. You don't think about it consciously, but it's like, oh, you need help? You want to be inspired? You want to be in the mood? I'll help you. And they come in with whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm inspired. You feel that much. They have that much of like whatever you need. And then they have all this huge stuff that they're going to trigger you with, but you're not aware. You're like, I feel that much inspired. Yay, I'm going to use it on whatever. 5 seconds later, you're like, it's like, it's too much. And those can like really come into you. Like, whenever you need something, want something, all these things that you're inviting, you're not thinking about it consciously, but it's invitations and they take it. And yeah. and basically they're able to mess with us because like whenever they come in, they get the invitation, they can stay there, and that's like literally a thing. Entities need invitation to be in, and when we give them, they will definitely come in and mess with you later on. Because first,
Yeah.
like they don't want to be noticed, so they will try to play it sneaky, try to play with you and make sure that you're okay with it, so that you wouldn't be able to notice it. And once you're okay with it, then they're starting messing with you, and then you think like it's you, but it's not.
Yeah. It's like clickbait or taking the bait, and there's
Yeah.
a hook. And if they can hook you, they got you, and they're gonna mess with you. It's also like that vampire. We hear that vampire. You have to invite them into your home before
Same
they come.
same with like Black Eyed Kids. I've used it like a year ago, a year and a half. I used to do like some research on that. Basically, all Black Eyed Kids they would like call the door like in and they all ask to be invited. They cannot get in. They cannot walk in or something. They all ask to be like, can I come in? Can I do this? Can I get your phone? Like whatever. They all ask for invitation. And people who let them in, they have shit happening all over the place. It's
Yeah.
like there's that basic rule, you know.
Yeah. A big one is like asking for help, praying for help. Please, God, help me. Or, which God, I mean,
Yeah,
I know you're thinking is just the one God. Well, of course, I just mean the one God, but you haven't clearly defined.
exactly.
Maybe the God that hears you going, please, God, help me, isn't the nice guy you think he is. Read the Old Testament. The guy will have you eating your own fucking babies. It's in there. It's like, what?
And then these entities, like they identify themselves like I'm God, no, I'm God, and there's like billions of entities, I'm God, and like which one are you inviting? Be clear,
Yep.
motherfucker.
Yep. Please, God, help me. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. So, with all that said, I want to also say. Oh, by the way, do we have to wrap up pretty quick?
Soon, like yeah, but
Okay.
we're good.
Okay. Uh, with all this said, there are people on this earth, lots, thousands, probably over several million, really, that they don't know about entities. It's not a thing in their world. There may be entities in their space, like we're talking about in their body, but they, their lifestyle, the way they're living, what they're doing, what they focus on, how they live, they're very loving and they're kind and they have they have purpose and maybe they're not out in the world changing the world. Maybe they don't even know about it. They don't keep up with the news. They don't know what's going on. They live a life that is wholesome and high vibration, and they don't have entity issues. Okay. So as much as Ogbil and I talk about this, like everybody's got this, everybody's all fucked up, everybody's got it. No. There's ways to, it's what you believe, it's how you live your life, what your expectations, wants, desires are, and if you're very loving and you eat a relatively healthy lifestyle, eating and what you drink and all this stuff, and nurture those around you and love, this will keep that entity stuff neutralized.
Pretty much, because people are like on a really high vibration and it's toxic for those beings.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not like, oh man, no, you don't have to be able, you don't have to do entity work to live a better life, and you don't have to do entity work to once you leave here find a better place that's not some still in the matrix, or you don't have to be forced reincarnation and all that stuff. Just learn and get a better understanding of life and the multidimensionality of it. Get a little bit of understanding about the between lives and afterlife and before this life, who and what you were, and a little bit about consciousness relative to beingness and soul and spirit and all this, ego and all that. And a person can do fine without a lot of philosophy or a lot of technology. I just want people to know that too.
Pretty much. I mean, like about 9 months ago, I was going through a huge life thing, and then instead of like doing like soul contract thing or other stuff, I found like Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Gary Vee, Les Brown, Tom Bilyeu, Lewis House, you name it, all those people. And I started like taking their like, tips for life and what to do, and like whatever I learn, I apply it like right away. And I was like doing it pretty intensely every single day. Basically, I isolate myself from all the negativity, listen to them like tons of hours, like 5 hours, 4 hours. But every day I had to have like an hour of positive stuff, and I would like shut down my head. Like Gary would talk a lot, and damn, does it really work? Like I had
Yeah.
huge wins. It's still like whatever I learn from them, I'm able to apply it, and like my life is just taking off. Like I'm having like lots of wins, and this empty work is just like additional things that we're doing. But it's not a must be. Like you can literally clean your life if you change your lifestyle, change your things, change your understanding, take more control of what you do. And so basically, when I like took over, like started controlling what like everything, what I consume, my activities, what I think, how I feel, I like paying a lot of attention, trying to find out like different things, and like literally 24/7. It's all about me. I'm working on myself all the time, and the wins I'm having are great.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And I'm loving giving you these sessions, and I'm learning new techniques and strategies and how to deal with the entities and help you deal with the entities and all that neat stuff. So probably a good time to start wrapping
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Uh, if this whole thing about entities is you have that awareness and you know they're dealing with your life or messing with your life, you can go over to richwest.net. There's a soul contract revocation course there that is like an introduction to the whole entity issue. And as you revoke agreements you've made with non-physical beings of one kind or another, also known as entities or archons or parasitic beings,
Yeah.
you revoke your contract, find out what you agreed to with them, revoke that, and you start to get a feel for the whole entity thing and how to get them out of your space. That's a really good thing. And then you can also do the entity course, which is another course, and you'll learn another technique for dealing with entities. So you're getting you're getting your basics on how to deal with entities on your own. And so Agvilar still, we may start giving other people sessions on this kind of entity technology and techniques for removing them to certain people who are ready and able to do the kind of work we're doing. Because you got to ask, okay, scan your space and look for a entity that has to do with specific issue, and you got to be able to do that. Effectively, and who would know if you can do that or not? So the idea is to do a consultation. Well, this is my idea. Agvila and I, we were brainstorming different ways to start offering this kind of work, if and when we do. And my brainstorming idea is like, well, maybe I can offer a 90-minute session, but the first 30 minutes is free. So you buy the session, first 30 minutes free, and then we get to talk back and forth. You get to ask your questions. I'll ask you different things. I might give you test stuff. And if it looks like this will work for you, great, we'll do the whole 90 minutes. If it looks like it's not really going to work, but we had 30 minutes to talk about it and discuss it, then okay, we won't do the 90 minutes. We'll stop at 30 minutes and issue an immediate refund. And so you're good. But you got to find out more about it and stuff like that. I'm just brainstorming it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be doing more work and uploading this. And if you're interested, we're going to try to put up a video a day on this subject. We'll see how that goes. So far, we're doing all right. And
Except yesterday.
didn't we have one that loaded up yesterday?
No,
We didn't?
I don't think so.
Did we have one that was unlisted that we could have popped up and didn't?
No, we did it day before yesterday.
Oh, okay. Oops. Well, yesterday we put in a lot of work doing the sessions themselves. So yeah, we're gonna try to get one a day here if we can. So anyway, check back. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the like button. YouTube's been a little funny about subscriptions and notifications, so you might have to click subscribe more than once, or that thing. But anyway, thanks for watching. Questions, discussions, your experiences with entity stuff, all kinds, any kinds, greatly welcome in comments below too. All right. Thank you very much for watching.